Hi, welcome to Linux channel. So hope you guys know that other than teaching, I do consulting, and of course long back I used to work full time. That's different. But these days I was once again started working on my open source project, which is the overall umbrella of various projects, which I call it as the Toffee project, and I'm in the process of also moving some of these pages from old website to this new website. So as I was doing, I was having some discussion with my client, and it was about optimizing SD-WAN networks. See, one of the things, if you encounter or if you're building any custom SD-WAN solution or building any SD-WAN product, as I earlier mentioned in a couple of videos, you will try to incorporate some type of VPN technology, and you can custom build a VPN technology, or you can use any existing VPN technologies like OpenWRT or WireGuard or things like that. But the problem is, apart from using that VPN, you should also get to know that the overheads of that VPN solution. And you can see here, once I have extensively covered about these VPN overheads. You can see there are multiple episodes I have discussed long ago, and as well as the VPN stack architecture and that encapsulation, how different stack does, and the network interfaces a VPN stack uses, like tap or its own custom virtual network interface, like in the case of WireGuard, versus something like OpenVPN VPN and things like that. So as you use a VPN technology within your SD-WAN framework, as I said, always you get this network overheads, and this kind of makes the overall SD-WAN network inefficient. Unfortunately, not many talk about it. Let's assume you just send the data as it is onto internet. The amount of data transfer you do is far more lesser than in case you send it via SD-WAN. The SD-WAN increases the overhead up to almost 10 to 20% or so, and this is not significant in case this data transfer happens on a high speed wired network, but it is quite significant in case if your SD-WAN is deployed in some remote branch where it is primarily connected via some LTE networks, or even more critical than LTE, which is like a satellite networks. The reason is satellite networks are quite critical, and also it is expensive, and that also increases the cost of running cost of this SD-WAN infrastructure, and as well as brings down its efficiency. So it is always important that you try to optimize the SD-WAN WAN traffic so that it negates some of this VPN tunnel overheads like I discussed in few episodes. So in case you are interested, you can go through that. I can also send you, in case if you discuss in comments or post your comments, I can also send few topics in case if you are looking for any specific clarification. Perhaps I must have already shot a video episode on the same. I can also send a recommended video. You can go through the same. See, there are various type of people watch my videos. Some are architects, and some are companies who are actually making a product, and somebody from the company, some developer or some architect, product architect, will be watching it and connecting to me. So various situations. So in case if you are looking for any specific clarification, you can go through the same. But nevertheless, in case you have deployed a SD-WAN network, soon you will realize, or if you are building any custom SD-WAN solution, soon you may realize that you need to go through some amount of VPN overheads. Of course, see, the major advantages of SD-WAN stay wherever it is, such as you get last mile connectivity, and a very cheap, affordable private lease line type of circuits, versus not utilizing something like MPLS and things like that. Various advantage, security, and various things like that, which generally all SD-WAN vendors provides you. But one thing they don't much highlight is the amount of overheads you need to deal with utilizing any SD-WAN network, because its backbone is built on a VPN and you try to highly optimize that. And of course, on top of it, you can also power this convergence with respect to AI and things like that. You can see any particular attacks happening into your SD-WAN network. You try to mitigate, and all those things are fine. All those bells and whistles are fine. But the end objective of SD-WAN network is to provide that secure, private, leased line type connectivity, end-to-end last mile connectivity. Hence, one of the important thing is to deal this network overheads. One thing I always suggest is take a scenario, do some network analysis and test. You can do a specific data transfers without SD-WAN network, and then with SD-WAN network, and try to evaluate what is the extra latency you incur. And as well as you can see that how much extra data transfer latency you get. I mean to say the overall transfer of that transaction. I'm not saying per packet ping latencies or something like that. This is where many gets confused. They need to also take an account of network jitters and things like that. I have again covered an extensive video on network jitter calculation and stuff. You can search and you can stumble across my video, or otherwise you can request. I can post it in your query comments actually. So you can also go through that. So keep in mind, if you are using any satellite networks or if you are using any LTE network, you always get this network jitter. So in case if you encounter jitter, again this optimizing the SD-WAN traffic becomes an important criteria. The reason is, if you don't have jitter, only the latency, then it is a different thing. But if you get jitters, at times TCP doesn't like the jitter. It's just a big no-no for TCP type of traffic, because if there is any jitter, TCP expects some kind of expected performance. Let's suppose a few packets are going faster, and then with a specific latency, and then suddenly there is a jitter and few packets are going beyond a certain limit. Now the TCP algorithm, congestion control algorithm gets confused, and then you may get this packet drops, retransmissions and things like that, because this is what is the bad effect of jitter. So TCP performance goes down. Then once again the jitter tries to stay stable. Stable means you get a constant negligible jitter is fine. See, each packet gives you some latency and it is not fluctuating too much. So then it is again fine. But again, once again jitter comes, the whole thing gets messed up. So you can even see here, if I search jitter, you can see I've covered few episodes on network jitter and things like that. I have done even some demos and stuff like that. Okay, so be in mind that calculate how much is the network performance you are compromising in your SD-WAN networks. See, this video is specifically for SD-WAN vendors, so this is not for some SD-WAN users. So of course, if you are using SD-WAN, you can evaluate any vendor product, take a quote from multiple vendors, and if you have a sample or a test deployment provided by that vendor, assess all these parameters. How much is your extra added latency on a SD-WAN network versus non-SD-WAN network. Do a fair comparison. I am not saying you ping to some Google server versus in the SD-WAN you test end-to-end private network connectivity performance. That is not a fair comparison. I am saying, like, just try as much as possible a realistic scenario mimicking with SD-WAN and without SD-WAN. So this way you will get some fair comparison. So do that and you will kind of get a measurement. I would also suggest, of course, as you can do any if config or something like that, I also suggest do how much is the total data transferred. So if you see here, do a fresh system start, do an if config and see the total amount of RX and TX bytes are, and as well as packets are, because packets gives you the real picture of any drops and something like that for a given transaction. So you do a known file size transfer, say you take 1 GB of file, transfer from one end to other end in your local LAN, take a base measurement, then do this test in a regular internet, take a base measurement. See, here we are not testing its download time as well. We are just seeing how many packets and how much data is transferred. Then with your vendor provided SD-WAN setup, a test setup, and then do a base measurement, how many extra packets and how much extra bytes you need to encounter, and that is what is the extra overhead you need to pay the price for that SD-WAN service actually provided by that vendor. And in case you have a large deployment and you are evaluating various vendors, then you can do a comparison, take a table and you take an account of all these factors and see which vendor suits you and who is offering the best service, not just with all those bells and whistle features, but as well as realistic visible results like this, which you can test by yourself. So see yourself how it is performing and what is the extra. Suppose if you are a network architect or the whole company's network infrastructure architect, I mean to say, so do all this tests and analytics, plot them in some Excel sheet or graphs, and then see which vendor has the best price per performance offering. So see what is the price which they offer and the performance at which they offer. Sometimes if you have some business critical applications you need to run through, because again it's just a critical business thing, you can also evaluate various other features which that SD-WAN provider also offers. So but one among them is this network latency. Although they kind of advertise, you just need to see by yourself. So hope this video has made you to think in this aspect when you are confused in terms of subscribing to some SD-WAN service or getting through any SD-WAN vendor. So do these things. In case if you are looking for any further assistance, of course you can also approach me. I do, of course, as I said, I do also consult these things on a regular basis, apart from doing some product and solution architecture and stuff. These two, of course, I do consult on things like this. I mean, I'm not saying SD-WAN alone. There are various things related to things which I can handle and I'm good at. So these things always I discuss with my clients, that these are the things which I'm comfortable and the things which I worked in the past. If I'm not something worked in the past, maybe I can investigate with my given industry experience and things. So hope this video is insightful. As I said, if you have any queries, you can discuss in YouTube comments. In case if you are looking for any specific video or any specific information, I have also wrote some articles I can pass on to you, or I can get back to you in comment as well. Or in case if any video I have discussed in the past, I can share you the link. Or if not my video, maybe if I have stumbled across an interesting video shot by some other YouTube channel or some article, then I can share it across to you. So hope you loved this video. Stay tuned. Have a nice day. Bye bye.